Hello everyone, welcome to our channel of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. My name is Kajal Kulkarni and I am going to teach grade 5 SST. So today we are going to learn something about the British Raj and the first war of independence. Now students, why do you think that the countries must or may be fighting amongst themselves? Yes, I had explained you all this in a previous recording that why the countries are fighting. When one country is really developing very fast and the money, the income source of that company, that country increases, so the other country starts feeling jealous about that country and so they start with the fight. So in this way, the World War I as well as the World War II had broke out. So now today we are going to see all about this chapter, that is chapter number 5, the British Raj and the first war of independence. So shall we start with it? Okay, we will start with the chapter. European traders. What we are going to see in this chapter, that is the arrival of the Europeans in India, the establishment of the British Empire in India, the rising discontent among the Indians and the revolt of 1857. Now students, we all know that India was ruled many years by the Britishers, right? So how did they come to India? Do you all know how did they come to India? They first, initially what they did, they came to India just for the sake of trading. You all know India was the richest country in the world. Yes students, India was the richest country in the world. And now what is the condition? That India is trying to come out from all these situations what we are lacking now, but earlier we were the richest amongst all. So these Europeans, what they thought, they will come in India, and they came in India just for the sake of trading. Trading means to take things from India, to buy things from India, and means buy things in very less or in very cheaper rate and send it in their own country. They came with this good thought that they will do the trading, but later on as they visited India and when they lived in India and when they saw the condition of India, they were very jealous and they started they brought indifference between people. They brought indifference among means they brought casteism. Indians were all one earlier. There was no such things like caste and creed. The people were all together, but these Britishers, what they did, they tried to separate the people by caste. And they started, then what happened? Slowly they started ruling over India, and they ruled over India many years students, and whatever treasure was there in India was all looted by these people. When they left India, when they were forced to leave India, they took all the very precious things from India. The Kohinoor diamond, which is not in India now, that was the part of India which has been taken by them, right? So the Britishers, when they came, they had just one thought, that they will do the trading. So now these European traders, how did they come to know that where India exactly is? Who first came to know that which country they are coming to? See, earlier there were no roadways, no railways, no airways. Only they used to find things with the help of waterways. Okay. So then we will start with how the Europeans when and who came first. Okay, so we will see that. Several hundred years ago, the Arabs and the Europeans traded with India. They traded mainly over land. India at that time was a very rich country, famous for its spices, gold, pearls and silk. The first European to find a sea route to India was the Portuguese Vasco da Gama. Who was the one who came in India? He was the one, Vasco da Gama. He was of Portuguese. Okay, so he was the one who found the route to India. How did he come? He came through sea route. Okay, they used to do the trading on land. Means on land the trading was going on. And what things India was famous for? Its spices. Spices means all the garam masalas. What we say cardamom. Yes, then bay leaves. Also those dried masala India was famous for. Then gold, pearls, silk. Okay, these all things were found in India. So they found all these things really very interesting. And this Vasco da Gama, he was the one to come through the sea route to India. He went around Africa and landed at Calicut in Kerala a little over 500 years ago. Imagine students, 500 years before. He was the one who, means he came through Africa, from Africa all the way. He took a turn, he took a long route and he came to Calicut, okay, which is in Kerala, the Kerala port. He reached first in the Kerala port. Where did he land? Calicut in Kerala. The Portuguese started trading with India mainly in spices. They were followed by the Dutch, French and English traders. Now since this Vasco da Gama, he came for trading, means he was the one to visit India and find India. Okay, he was the one who founded India on the world map. So he came through Africa and then landed at Calicut in Kerala. And he was the one, he started trading with India, means the Portuguese started trading with India, and then later on who came? Dutch, French and English traders. So mainly these Portuguese people, they were trading only in spices. They were interested with the spices of India. Soon they started fighting against each other to get a bigger share of the trade for themselves. I'll make a little bit larger. Now what happened? First these Portuguese started trading with they started taking the spice. The trading means what? They were not they were taking the spices, and whatever demand was, means whatever the Indians were demanding, that amount was given to them. Okay, so that way the trading was going on. Trading means both are doing the work, exchanging mutually. Okay, so they were doing this work mutually. Then after the Portuguese, this Dutch, French and English traders came to India. Now as the competition increased, now see so many countries. First earlier only Portuguese was taking the spices. Then what happened? These Dutch, French and English traders also visited India for trading. So now the competition increased. Now if these people are taking the spices, then ultimately what will happen? If one is taking 100 kilo, the other one is taking 200 kilo, then what will happen? There will be shortage for the other country, for the other traders, right? So what happened? They started fighting amongst themselves. Why? Because they wanted the bigger share of the trade for themselves, for their country. They wanted to earn more from India. So now what happened? Finally, the British defeated the others. Who defeated? The British were the one who defeated all the other nations, all the other traders. The British formed the English East India Company. Now, the British started the English East India Company where? In India itself. These Britishers, they started a company. They fought amongst themselves, and since Britishers were they were more strong, so they won the fight, and what did they do? They formed East India Company in India. In the year 1600 for trading in India. Why did they form that company? Just for the sake of trading with India. Now see this image. This image is of Vasco da Gama meeting with the Zomarin, the ruler of Calicut. He is the ruler of Calicut and Vasco da Gama is meeting him. Okay, since he had visited, the first he landed in Calicut, Kerala. So now these Britishers, they started with their own company, English East India Company, in the year 1600. Why did they start it? They started the company for the sake of trading with India. Now they made trading centers in the western and eastern coast. These Britishers, being just a trader, but just see that they started their company in our country, but nobody had stopped them from doing that. So due to that, when this thing was done, at that time, if the Indians would have stopped them from doing this, the ruling period, which was, means the country which was ruled for such a long, means very long years, it would have not been that situation. Now they started with the company, and then what they did? They did the trading centers. They made the centers for trading in the eastern and western coast. Now why coast? Because the east and the west and a south is all covered with water, right? India is surrounded all the three sides by water. So they made their centers in the west as well as in the east, and they started their trading centers over there. They bought mainly spices and textiles from India. Bought means to purchase. Okay, so these Britishers, what they did, they used to just purchase the spices and the textile. Textile means the cloth. Okay, so the cloth and the spices, whatever textile material was there, was all taken from India. For some time, their main concern was only trading. Now, as I said, that only for some, like they were so intelligent, what they did, they thought that now India is such a rich country. If we start ruling over this country, then all the money, all the resource will be under our control. So what they did, earlier they only had the mentality, only their concern was to do trading with India, but later on what they did, they started ruling over our country. Do you know, the Portuguese established trading centers along the west coast of India. These centers were called factories because they were the places where factors or officials of the company bought and sold goods for the company. The factories were fortified or made strong to protect them from attack. Now these Britishers, see slowly what they did, these Portuguese, they made their own trading centers along the west coast, and these centers were called as factories. So in this place, they were doing the selling and buying of the goods which were bought, means which were purchased from India. Those goods they were keeping over here, and then the thing was like from that coast it was sent to their country. Okay, and these what they did then? Fortified means to make it in such a way, means it improvised. The factories, the place was improvised in such a way that those place will be protected from any of the attack in future. They were knowing that sometime or the other, but still students, India was ruled by these Britishers more than 300 years, more than that. So just they were having that thinking that there may be attack on it, so they fortified means they made few changes, they made good changes in that factory to make it strong so that it can be protected from any of the attacks. Then the British control, here the British control started. The wealth taken back to Britain by the traders of the East India Company was used to fund the Industrial Revolution in Britain. These Britishers, what they did? They earned a huge profit. What they did? They earned, when they were doing trading in India, they really earned a huge profit, out of which that money they used to send it to their country. The Britishers used to send that income in their country so that in their country there will be industrial revolution, so that their country will become a developed country. How cheaters they were, that they looted India in such a way that they took everything from India and they started developing their nation. Their nation was not developed, but they started taking things from India and they started developing their country, and whatever fund was raised, that was used for industrial revolution. Now what do you mean by industrial revolution, students? I had explained in the previous recording that industrial revolution means when some goods are made in a very small quantity at a very small extent. Suppose at home you are making some products and that same products are being then made in the factories. So what will happen? The production will increase, the rate will decrease of that because the production is very large, very huge, and ultimately what will happen? The profit ratio will start increasing and then that fund will be utilized for the development of the nation. So similarly the British did the same thing. The Britishers did the same thing. The fund which was raised by the East India Company, whatever they had earned in this company, that fund they were transferring to their country for industrial revolution. The British now needed a steady supply of raw materials for their factories. Now they started with the factories. Now their country is having, means they were having a huge factory, means they were having very huge factories. Now I have started with the factory, but I am not having any labor, I am not having any raw material. Then what will happen? My factory will be shut down. So these Britishers, what they did, they started with huge factories in their country, but to run that factory they needed some raw material. So some raw material means the supply should be steady. Steady means it should be continuous, it should not stop somewhere. If the supply is stopped, what will happen? If the supply is stopped, then the factory will have to shut down for a day or two, right? So what they did, they wanted the raw material, the supply should be very steady. So they also needed a market to sell the goods being made by the factories. Now whatever raw material they were needing for their factories, also whatever goods were produced in the factory. Now I have started with the factory, I am getting good quality of raw material, and I have made a huge number of finished goods. Now where will I sell it? I need a market to sell, right? So now these Britishers, what they did, they started selling their products in our country, in India, and they were forced to purchase their goods. The Indians were forced to purchase the British made goods. So we will see it. The British now needed a steady supply of raw materials for their factories. They also needed a market to sell the goods being made by the factories. Soon, the British were not content with being mere traders in India. They wanted to control the land. Around 250 years ago, the Mughal Empire in India had started declining. Declining means reducing. Several regional kingdoms emerged. Emerged means started. The British took advantage of the constant fighting between them and started gaining control over India. The first stage of the British conquest of India was marked by the Battle of Plassey in 1757. Now what the Britishers did? Now their main aim was not only trading, they wanted to rule over India. So now what they did? They saw that in India, during those days, means around 200 years ago, we had Mughal Empire which was declining. Declining means it was reducing. The Mughals were defeated by the kings. So what happened due to that? The Britishers took advantage of these fights, the fights among two kings, okay, the two kings which were fighting among themselves. The Britishers took advantage of this constant fight. In those days, children, they used to fight just for the sake of a huge amount of land. One king used to fight with the other king to conquer that land. To conquest means to take over that land and to make their land a very vast kingdom. Okay, so in those days there were fight among the kings. So these Britishers took a very good advantage of that. And what was the first battle? The first stage, the battle was the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757. Now this battle, the Britishers, what they did, they defeated Siraj ud Daula, the Nawab of Bengal. He was the Nawab of Bengal and he was defeated by the British. And since the Britishers defeated Siraj ud Daula, what happened? They became very powerful in Bengal. So what these Britishers started doing? They started taking one part from the Indian kings. Okay, so first war was the Battle of Plassey. Now this Battle of Plassey, who was the king who was defeated? The king that was defeated means he was the leader of the in the fight. Siraj ud Daula, he was the leader and he was defeated by these Britishers. He was the Nawab of Bengal. So he was defeated by these Britishers and then the Britishers started ruling over Bengal. So how initially they started rule over India? They started capturing one states of India. The first stage of the British conquest of India means to conquer India, to take over a part of India. So which was the first? The first one was marked in the Battle of Plassey against Siraj ud Daula, the Nawab of Bengal, in the year 1757. This battle, in this battle, the British defeated Siraj ud Daula, the Nawab of Bengal, and became very powerful in Bengal. over the next 100 years, they extended their control over most of India. So in next 100 years, students, they extended means to spread out. They spread out the control over major part of India. Okay, they started with Bengal and then they started spreading, they started capturing India. So this image here is Mir Jafar with Robert Clive, the commander of the British force after the Battle of Plassey. He is the Britisher. You can see the flag here. So he is the Britisher, Robert Clive, and he here is Mir Jafar. He is the commander of Robert Clive is the commander of British force, and he was the one who was taking charge of the battle. That was Mir Jafar. Okay, so these Britishers defeated them and started their power, became very powerful in Bengal, and then again in next 100 years they extended their control over major parts of the nation. Then discontent among Indians. Now what does this word discontent means? Discontent means dissatisfaction or unhappiness. There was unhappiness among Indians. If suppose some neighbor, when you are staying in your house, okay, and your neighbor comes and just starts demanding, chalo give me tea, give me this snacks, come on do this work, do that work, and he or she will start ruling you. So will you like that? No, definitely no. We will not like anybody coming and ruling over us. So similarly, the Indians were discontent. Why they were discontent, why they were unhappy, why they were not satisfied? So it is all in this paragraph, why and what exactly happened. Soon there was widespread discontent among the Indians. The officers of the East India Company used unfair means to get rich. They did so at the cost of the Indians. The farmers in India were forced to grow crops like indigo and cotton, which provided the British with the raw materials for their factories. The British purchased these at very low prices. As a result, the farmers suffered. They became poorer while the British made huge profits. The meal cloth made by the British industries was sold in India. This was cheaper and of better quality than the cloth made by local weavers. So, more and more people bought it. As a result of this, the Indian handloom industry suffered and the workers became poorer. Traders also suffered because of the goods coming from Britain. The British made unjust laws through which they could take control of more and more kingdoms in India. One such law said that if a ruler died without a child, his kingdom would be taken over by the British. This made the kings and nawabs of India very unhappy. Many of the Indians, especially the farmers, workers, traders and rulers, were angry and dissatisfied with the British rule. Whenever such a situation exists, there are chances of a revolt or an uprising. People forgot their fears and differences and together rise against the rulers. This is what happened in India in 1857. A small incident started a revolt that quickly spread through the population. Students, I will stop here, and in our next episode I will be explaining you in deep what exactly happened in the British rule. Till then, thank you.